Hello everyone, welcome back to A Bit Better Me podcast. This is episode 3 and today we are talking about something we all deal with. It is emotion. Well, we all have feelings, but sometimes we don't know what to do with them. We hear about emotional intelligence or EQ all the time. Simply or briefly, it's about understanding and handling our emotion in a healthy way. For me, it's a little bit complicating, and what I've learned is that emotion is really complicating. Anyway, it's part of life. And there are so many emotions. It's not some common words we often use, for example, happy, sad, or angry. But there are so many in-between feelings. For example, frustration, disappointment, excitement, anxiety, relief, loneliness, a lot of words to describe emotions or feelings in a specific way like that. And if we don't pay attention to them, they don't just go away, they stick around and affecting our thoughts, actions, and even our health in a long term. So let's talk about why emotions matter and how we can deal with them in a better way. So what happens when you ignore your emotion? That is a big question. So let's start with the other question. Have you ever felt upset or overwhelmed, but you just push it aside? Maybe you distracted yourself with work, TV, or scrolling through your phone. I know it because I've done that. And for a while, it really helps. But here's the thing. Those emotions don't just disappear. They get buried and they always find a way back to the surface. Think about a time when you got angry about something small, but deep down, that anger wasn't really about that one moment. It was built up from one other things you hadn't dealt with. When we ignore our feelings, they don't leave, they just show up later, and sometimes even stronger. Experts say that suppressing emotions can lead to anxiety, stress, burnout, and even physical symptoms like headaches, tension, and fatigue. So, avoiding feelings isn't really a solution, it's just delaying the problems. So, if ignoring emotion doesn't work, what's the better option? How do we actually deal with them in a way that helps us move forward? Here are a few things that help me. And the first one is really important, so please keep in mind. It is name the emotion. Before we can deal with an emotion, we have to recognize what it is. So ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling? Sometimes we just say, I'm upset. But are we really feeling frustrated, disappointed, or overwhelmed? Naming the specific emotion helps us understand what's really going on. Secondly, I try to write everything down. Journaling is one of the best ways to process emotion. Whenever I feel stuck, I write about what's on my mind without worrying about making it perfect. And seeing my thoughts on paper makes them feel more manageable and helps me find patterns in what I'm feeling. The third one I often do is ask myself the right questions. So instead of pushing emotion away, I keep asking myself, why am I feeling this way? What triggered this emotion? And what does this feeling need from me right now? Sometimes just asking the questions can help me see the bigger picture and understand my emotion better. The other things that I always remind myself is that I stay present with a feeling. Instead of running from emotions, I try to sit with them. It means allowing myself to feel without judgment. If I'm sad, I don't force myself to just get over it. If I'm anxious, I take a few deep breaths and remind myself that feelings come and go. There is a simple technique that you can apply into your daily life that is focused on your breath. My way of doing it is inhale deeply through my nose, hold for a few seconds, then exhale slowly. This helps ground me in the present moment. So I hope you can try that technique. The other way that I apply to my life is talk to someone because some emotions are too heavy to carry alone. So talking to a trusted friend, mentor, or therapist can make a huge difference. When we say our feeling out loud, they lose some of their power over us, and we start to see things more clearly. After a couple of months applying the techniques into my life, here's the biggest lesson I've learned. Avoiding emotion doesn't make us stronger. Real strength comes from facing them, and the only way forward is through. So acknowledging what we feel, sitting with it, and allowing it to pass. For sure, it's not always easy, but it's worth it. When we deal with our emotion, we feel lighter, more in control, and more at peace. And remember, emotions aren't just messages. They are not something to fear or fight against. They are signals telling us what we need, and if we listen, we can learn from them. So the next time you feel something heavy, try to pause and try to practice those techniques. Name it, sit with it, and remind yourself you are strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. And that's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me on this conversation about emotions today. I hope this gives you some tools to understand and process the feeling better. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who may need to hear it too. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Take care and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.